Welcome to the block party. I am joined by rookie defenseman Cal Foote. Cal, how's it going, man?
Doing well. How about you?
Good, good. All right, so this comes out on Wednesday, but I want to let everybody know right now we're about like an hour and a half before the Super Bowl starts. I saw all the guys going to the hotel wearing all their jerseys. I saw you rocking a Buck shirt. And look, we can be honest here. I'm a Bears fan. I know that you're a Broncos fan. What day this week did you buy that Buccaneer shirt?
I got it yesterday.
Were you running around Tampa trying to find it because you knew you had to wear one for today?
There's actually a spot right by the rink where people are selling it outside, just like on the road. So I got pretty lucky and was trying to find a jersey, but I just got a T-shirt. So
Wait, is it bootleg merchandise? That's normally the stuff they sell by the side of the road.
I'm not sure. I think it was just like an NFL store. I'm not sure,
You
honestly.
don't care. You got the job done, right? You had a shirt, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you excited for the game? Are you I know that you're in Tampa Bay. I know that you're a Broncos fan. Are you rooting hardcore for the Buccaneers, or you're okay no matter what happens?
Yeah, I'm for sure cheering for the Bucks. Being a Broncos fan, I'm not really a big Chiefs fan, so
Right.
would like to see the Chiefs go down and the Bucks take it home.
Now, I got to ask you, has Blake Coleman apologized to you for, him being the reason your brother got traded?
No, I mean that's just hockey. It happens, but no, he hasn't.
Well, listen, what were you doing last year, during the Stanley Cup run? Were you locked into every game?
Yeah, I was up seeing family in the Ontario area, so I was kind of close by. So yeah, I was dialed into every game, and then as they went further and further, I just kept on watching and was more into it.
How'd you find out that you made the team this year?
It was right after our last scrimmage. Just had a meeting with Julian and Stacy, and they let me know. So it was probably a few days before opening night.
Did you see it? Did you see it kind of coming?
Honestly, I was hoping, but you never know when it comes to these things. But I had a good feeling, and but at the same time, you never really know.
How are you guys watching the Super Bowl tonight? Are you doing like a socially distanced gathering? Are you just going to stay in your room? What's the plan for the party?
I honestly have no idea. We just got to the hotel, so I think there might be a little dinner and then socially distance we'd watch together, I guess. But I'm not totally sure. Maybe in the ballroom downstairs, but we'll see.
No, it's Stammer's birthday today. Do you have to get him a present?
I did not get him a present. I didn't know until I got to the rink, so maybe I'll get him something later.
Okay. Listen, Cal, I want to know so far, being on the team, this year, who's the weirdest guy so far that on the Lightning?
The weirdest guy. Oh,
It's
geez,
okay. They're all friends of the block party. Here's a Pat Maroon.
sure. No, I don't know. I'm trying to think. That's a tough one. You put me on the spot.
Are there a lot of weird guys? Is that why, or is everybody pretty normal?
No, everyone's pretty normal, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're alone in a dark alley and there's one guy from the team that you want to have your back, who you picking?
Oh, geez. I don't know. Probably Hetty because he's massive and he's huge and intimidating.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think about Hetty's style? Are you taking notes? Are you impressed by it? He's taken it to a whole nother level this year. It's very
Yeah.
intimidating.
Yeah. There's a bunch of guys that have pretty awesome style. Yeah, he's one of them, but he's doing a good job with it. It's pretty cool.
So listen, obviously a lot of people are talking about you scored your first goal, and we'll talk about that. But I want to know, you say you got that puck. What other pucks do you have saved at home?
I have my first pro goal in Syracuse, and then I have my first junior goal from when I was in Kelowna. That's it.
So that's it. So this is your third one.
Yep. Well, and then I have another one from my first game. So
Okay, that's very
third.
cool. Now, what did it mean? Like, because I saw this afterwards and I thought it was very cool. You were obviously playing the game, but they showed Stammer going into the net and grabbing that puck. I thought that was very cool, the captain to do. Did that mean anything that, he had the foresight to go and grab that for you?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I didn't really notice until afterwards, like you did too. But for anyone to go in and grab that, that's a special moment for for anyone to get their first goal and to have the captain go get it, it's pretty cool.
Now, your first goal was overshadowing something that I thought was very cool in that same game, and it was like you snuck in like a few uppercuts there on Nashville. I have people on Twitter that want to know, are you related in any way, shape, or form to Mike Tyson?
No, not at all.
Did anybody teach you that? Like, is that when you're growing up? I mean, obviously being involved in a hockey family, do you learn that stuff just by watching? Is it something you practice, or just you get into, so many, skirmishes while you're playing that you're going to figure out how to fight sooner or later?
I think it just came more natural. I think I got a little upset, and playing a few years junior and a couple years in Syracuse, it's been a handful of years where you get into those little scrums and fights. So I think it just came naturally.
Now, when your first goal, when you shot it, I mean, everybody was saying that you look like Cal Stamkos. As soon as it left your stick, did you know it was going right in?
Honestly, not really. I think it was just kind of a scramble in their zone for a while, so I just wanted to get it off as fast and as quick as I could, and it luckily found its way.
So when you found out that the Lightning were drafting you in the first round, did you know that the Lightning were going to be the team that was going to pick you? Were other teams in the mix? I mean, were you worried that you might not be taken in the first round at all? Like, what are the thoughts that were going through your head on draft day?
Yeah, there's a bunch of crazy thoughts that go on that, a couple days leading up and on the draft day. But it was a team that was, kind of in my range in a sense. I mean, I had a good interview with them, I felt like, so I wasn't totally sure, but it ended up that way, and it's been pretty awesome so far.
What's it like to be around some of these guys on the Lightning? Obviously, Hetty, McDonough, some of the guys that have been here for a while. What's it like to be around those guys, play with them, and be able to learn from them every night?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's pretty rare that you go into a team that literally every single guy here has won a Stanley Cup. So I'm pretty fortunate to be around such a special group of guys, and it's a really tight group of guys. Obviously, they had to be a close group to win last year. So it's been awesome, and the guys have been great to me.
Good. Now, who was the first person you heard from after you scored your first ever career goal? When you went back to check your phone?
My family. The first people I called were my parents and my brother. So we got in a little group FaceTime and was talking to them first.
Did they know? Were they watching the game?
They were, yeah.
Okay. Now, is your dad a full-on Lightning fan? Is he, Devils fan, or Avalanche fan all over the place? Or like, who's your dad rooting for these days?
I think he's just rooting for my brother and I. So I'd say Devils and Lightning. And then I think he probably has to have, still, feelings for Colorado as well. So probably those three teams, I'd say.
Does he give you any feedback? Does your brother give you any feedback? Does anybody in your family kind of give you any critiques after your games at all?
Yeah, of course. More my dad the most. He and I usually talk after most games, and we just kind of go through it. And then my brother says some, he has some input too, which he's played the game for a long time, so he knows as well. And then sometimes my mom as well.
What's the best piece of advice your dad's given you this season?
This season and pretty much all the time is just my work ethic. Make sure I'm always working hard and don't get outworked on the ice, and good things will happen to you.
Listen, there was oh God, hold on. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Here it was. In 2017, you probably don't even remember this. There was an interview. They asked you a bunch of questions. It said the coolest person that you ever met at the time. Do you remember who you said?
No.
2017, you said Peyton Manning.
Is he probably still the same? Yeah.
He's still the cool. How'd you meet Peyton Manning? What was that scenario?
It was at a golf course. It was at a golf course in Denver, and we were actually, there was only 3 of us in my group, and there's 4 in his, so they let us pass through, and we got to meet him and another Broncos player, and it was crazy. I mean, I'm growing up a Broncos fan, and I remember when he ended up signing with the Broncos, I was in shock, and I loved watching him play. So to be able to meet him and shake his hand was pretty awesome.
Yeah, Peyton Manning signing with the Broncos, and I think Tom Brady signing with the Buccaneers are probably the two closest things that you can compare to having a guy like that come to a whole new city and then end up winning you a championship. Obviously, the Buccaneers hoping that happens today. Listen, Cal, I appreciate it, man. You did say you also said the athlete you admire most in 2017. Do you remember who you said then?
I don't.
It was Von Miller. Is that still a guy that you admire the most, or is there somebody in the hockey world?
He's been hurt, but I still, admire him. He's an awesome player, but there's a bunch of guys out there that are so talented and amazing too. So, probably him still and a bunch of others.
What is your best memory? I just got a tweet. What's your best memory from playing with Syracuse, or what's your biggest takeaway from playing with Syracuse?
It was awesome. I was there for just over 2 years. I got a little taste after juniors as well, but it's a different game from juniors and obviously youth hockey, but it's pro. It's awesome. I had a great time there, and I met a ton of awesome people, and still very close with a lot of the guys in that team. So I built friendships that are going to last a lifetime. So it was definitely an amazing couple of years, and I'll never forget it.
Well, listen, Cal, I appreciate it, man. I know you got to go figure out what's going on tonight. Hopefully somebody lets you know about the Super Bowl party so you're not just stuck in your room watching it by yourself. I appreciate you taking the time, man. Have a great, rest of the season, man. And thanks for taking the time today.
Thank you so much for having me on.
As your sign says behind you, pretty good.
There we go. So you know the reference. I love that. I feel like we're bonding already. Listen, Dave Randorf, we're starting the podcast now. I know you like to know when we're officially going.
You let me know when we're going.
We're rolling, Dave. Play by play, the voice of the Lightning. Are you a big Curb Your Enthusiasm fan?
Of course. Pretty good.
Because I tell you what, I've had so many people on this podcast, so many players, and I've wanted them all to notice it behind me and to kind of strike up a bond with like one of the guys, but nobody notices it all. And now everybody does this year.
I don't know how they could not. I mean, obviously you got some great Lightning gear and the Lightning neon sign there. That's pretty cool. The hat is very strong. Love the pinstripes. But I mean, the other thing jumps out at you. I mean, how can you not notice that? And they've seen it. That's all these guys do on the road is watch Netflix. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I gotta love hockey players. They're good guys, but sometimes they just don't want to maybe set themselves out a little bit.
Yeah, tell us the truth. Tell us that you're watching Curb Your Enthusiasm. Nothing to be ashamed of.
The most socially incorrect show out there for sure. Inappropriate humor at its lowest and finest.
Dave, the first question I have for you is, where's your parking spot at Amalie Arena? Are you parking next to Ingblom? Do they have you in some sort of weird parking garage? Let's be honest here. You can tell me.
You know what? Nothing fancy. I park in the parking lot right across Thunder Alley in the, what is it, Pam Oreo?
Oh, Pam Iorio.
Pam Iorio. Sorry, I'm on the local
there you go.
references. It's great. It's easy to get in and out now because there's nobody there. So that's where I park. I know I do not have reserved for Rick Peckham scratched out and out with a Sharpie written in Dave Randorf. That doesn't happen yet.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're on the way because I think Ingblom does have that, but I'm not calling
Oh, jeez, I better talk to my boss. Wow.
Yeah. Have you been lost around Amalie Arena yet?
No, because you know what? I've been around the league for a while, and most buildings they're the same. Once you get into the bowels of most arenas. Once you find out where the elevator is to go upstairs and where the rooms are, it's pretty much the same. So, and I've been in Amalie Arena before, certainly not as much as I have been in the last 6 weeks, but I've been in here before. So I know where the elevator, that freight elevator is that takes us up to the press box, that lovely thing. And I know where the press meal room is. Yeah. And I know the Lightning room is and the visitors room. So after that, I really don't need to know where everything else is.
And I don't think people know. And I've had I've been able to ride this elevator once or twice, but this is like an old school, like they pull a rope and it closes from like the bottom to the top. I mean, you don't get to ride those every day.
You don't, thankfully. But it's great. Gary runs the elevator. Gary's the guy who's running the show there. He's going to decide where you are going and when you are going to get there. You need to go to the 7th floor, Gary. Hey, whoa, slow down. I'm stopping at 4 and 5 first. easy there, rookie guy, Mr. Rick Peckham imposter. Just slow your roll. And so I'm getting to know Gary a little bit.
Dave, I know that you're on Twitter. You haven't had anybody like chirping you or saying, hey, you're not Rick Peckham or anything like that. Tell me everybody's been kind to you so far.
I'll be very, very honest. I don't, as a rule, when you have a public job like mine, especially one that in Canada where you are a broadcaster in sports, there's always going to be the haters out there. So I don't really pay a lot of attention to it. I don't really fear putting myself out there a little bit, talking about what's going on tonight and we're doing this game and that. I've opened myself up a little bit more since I've been here, and I have seen a lot of stuff, and it's been unbelievable. So nice, so welcoming, so friendly. Imagine that friendliness on social media. It's been great. It's been wonderful. The welcome I've received, even before I did a game, I got a lot of people reaching out to me, welcoming me and saying, hey, welcome aboard, welcome to Tampa. I see you like, my bio says I like craft beer, go here, go there, try this one. It's been great. It's been very, very special. And I can't wait to get to know the community and the people a little bit more. And I won't forget it, really. And I mean that truthfully.
And this seems like, to a guy like me, the job that you have, it seems like a once in a lifetime opportunity to get that job or to be in this business or, to go after and work for a certain team. What was the process like for this job? I mean, do you just fill out an application? Does somebody give you a heads up? Does Peckham go, hey, listen, I want you to replace me? How do you get a job like this?
Well, I'm gonna share a story with you that I've told a couple of times since I've got here, but I'll tell it to you anyway because it's true. It's absolutely a true story. The very first time I came to Tampa Bay, in Tampa, was 2003. I was working for a Canadian network in Canada called TSN, and I was doing the Stanley Cup playoffs. I was kind of bouncing around between series. We were bouncing around. I came in here to do a Game 5, the Lightning against the Capitals. It was the year before they won the Stanley Cup in 04. And I went to do the game, and I was just blown away by the atmosphere, by the fans, by the just the overall game night experience was fabulous. And this was 17 years ago, and it's only gotten way better since. And we did the game. It was a great game. Marty St. Louis scored late, and they won 2-1. And I walked out of the rink, and it was a gorgeous, warm night. And I look back, and there were, I believe it was Paul Kennedy was doing the post-game show with the crew outside from an outdoor set. And I just took it all in. We're walking over the bridge on the channel side there to go to the hotel. And I look back at the whole scene, and I said, man, that was a lot of fun. What a great place to see a game. And I said, if Rick Peckham ever decides to retire, I got to look into this. This would be great. And I swear to God, I said that out loud. That is an absolutely true story. I told this story to Bill Wickett, my now boss, on my very first interview, and he kind of chuckled. And so 17 years later, Rick Peckham made it be known that it would be his last season, and I started exploring the possibilities. Early last summer, I contacted the Lightning, and Bill Wickett, my boss, got back to me quickly, and which was very nice of him, just to connect a little bit. And, it was a long process from that point forward because there was lots of guys they needed to talk to and due diligence. And they were busy winning the Stanley Cup. They had other things on the go. And it all kind of came together on New Year's Eve. So it was an unbelievable way to say goodbye to 2020 and hello 2021. It was fabulous, and I'm still thrilled about it.
It's so funny because I know that when some of us are in the process of, trying to get a job and we feel like we have it, but we're just waiting for that final call. And I'm sitting around with my wife going, what's going on? Am I getting it? And you're like, hey, what's going on? And then you go, oh, listen, I know these guys have something more important going on. When they get done winning the Stanley Cup, then they'll figure out who's going to be the play-by-play guy.
Yeah, absolutely. It took a while, but I also know that this was a very important decision. Rick Peckham's done this job for 24 years. He's going into the Hockey Hall of Fame as a Foster Hewitt Award winner. He's been around the NHL for 4 decades. He is very important to the Lightning community, the fans. And I know that. I'm not replacing Rick Peckham. I'm taking over because he's leaving. He's going to play golf and travel, and he's fine with it too. Rick's been very, very good to me since I arrived. He called me, and we played golf since. And what a nice guy. What a gracious man he's been. Offering to help me in any way possible and welcoming me. And he said some things to me, quite frankly, that I'll never forget, because I have a high regard and respect for the man I'm replacing, and I know he's very, very special to Lightning fans. And I'm not replacing him. I'm taking over the job, but I'm not replacing him.
Wait, did he say? What did he say? Did he say that you're better than him?
He said, "Don't even think." No, he said he was. I'll keep it between me and Rick, but it was.
Okay.
You can probably imagine it was very, very
Good.
kind and gracious words from a guy who's been here for a quarter of a century.
Chemistry, very important. I've been in radio for a long time. You got to develop that chemistry with the host, the co-host. That there's a bunch of moving parts. How did you develop that with Brian Engblom? I know a lot of the hockey guys sometimes they'll stay at each other's houses to get to know each other's every move. Did you do that with Engblom?
I haven't stayed at his house overnight. We haven't had a sleepover yet, but I've been to his place. He's invited me over there. We've hung out and chatted about sports and life and things like that. I reached out to Brian early on. I gave him a call out of the blue last summer because, quite frankly, it's a small business we're in. And if he started hearing names of guys who were interested in being his partner and working very closely with him, if he was going to hear my name, I'd rather him hear it from me rather than, hey, this guy Randorf from Canada, he wants to come down here. And so I introduced myself. I knew Brian a little bit. Just a little bit from game days when we cross paths like you do on the road with the other crews. And we talked for an hour, and Brian was so great. He was really nice and friendly to me and welcoming, and told me about the area, told me about the organization. He had nothing but great things to say. He came from a similar situation where he was doing national games and he was flying here, there, and everywhere, where you fly into a city, you do the game one day and you fly out the next. That's what he was doing. And that's what I was doing. And then he came here and we became part of a team crew. And so he could relate to, someone like me coming into that role. And so we talked about a lot of stuff. And then from the moment I landed on just after New Year's, he was on the phone to me right away. Hey, do you need a ride from the airport? Do you need a lift here? Whatever help, let me know. And we went out for dinner. He had his lovely partner, Lori, and it was great. So he's been fabulous. And he is easily, as an NHL broadcaster, all of us watch all the shows around the league, all the regional shows. And he is easily one of the top analysts in the league, in the business, national or regional. So you got that going for you. He's a very welcoming guy. He's just a wonderful man. And he's really welcomed me on the air as well, allowing us to find our rhythm. And he deserves a lot of credit for that.
Now, I know we talked a little bit before in our pre-interview about your goal call and that you're trying to perfect your goal call with the Lightning. And as we record this, the Lightning beat Nashville last night. And I think Cirelli had the first goal. I thought your call was absolutely phenomenal. I don't know how you felt about it. I don't know if you feel like you're there, but how did you feel about your goal calls last night? There were a handful.
Well, I'm gonna actually flip it a little bit here on you because I had a very interesting observation from my partner, Laura. Laura is she's a hockey fan. She watches games and she knows, and she goes, do you think you sounded a little too excited for the Nashville goal? And I said, I'm driving home and I'm thinking, geez, maybe I was, because, and this is the part that I'm still massaging and still trying to figure out, because I've come from doing Hockey Night in Canada where I'm doing Calgary and Edmonton on a Saturday night. You better be down the middle of the fairway, buddy, or otherwise it's gonna be a long night on Twitter for you. So honestly, you don't cheer for one side or the other. You don't care who wins. You just want a good game. And that's where I come from. And I know that's not the situation here. And I know I'm still trying to feel my way out towards how hard I lean on a Lightning goal versus how hard I pull back on a visitor's goal without sounding like there are guys around the league who completely, and they score. And, it's brutal as far as I'm concerned. And that's not going to be me. I hope people don't worry about that. But so I went actually back and looked at that Nashville goal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she brought up this observation, and she's got a good eye and ear and opinion for these types of things. So I was fine with it. It was okay. But let's just say I'm aware of working with that level for making sure that I'm giving the Lightning fans the goal call that they want, and not being too excited but not underplaying a good goal that Nashville scores to make it an exciting 1-goal game, which is what was going on. So I'm still massaging that, but overall, yeah, it was okay. Yeah, the goal that I'm happiest with because it was my first game, and it was the captain, it was Stamkos' goal. It was my first game, and he scored a nice goal. And I thought, okay, that's if I can just hit that note most of the time, I think Lightning fans will be okay with it. I hope. It's very subjective.